Hello folks, how's it going? And welcome back to another Trepidation video. Quite a significant amount of changes were made to the game since I last played. We're going to be talking all about the previous changes made to the game. We're gonna have a look at the ongoing map reworks. And then we shall get into all the details on the upcoming content for the game, including sneak peeks on what we can expect next. Let's get caught up on everything that has changed and what is coming up. First things first, let's talk about previous changes that were made to the game. Starting off with the map and slasher intros. Whenever a new match starts, a cutscene will now show off what chosen map is currently in play, as well as what slasher you will have to survive against. Every single map and slasher has received their unique intro. These intros have officially fully replaced the previous preparation stage. From now on, both the survivors and the slasher are entering the map at the same time, with the exception that the slasher stays in place for about 5 seconds until they get released as well. Everyone in the match can now properly see what map was picked for that match, as well as the slasher that they have to survive against now. Next up, we have facial animations, and I'm talking about the survivors specifically here. All the survivors in the game have received facial expressions. Just taking a look at Jake, for example, his eyes now blink. He reacts to taking damage. He has some very fun faces when you are doing certain emotes. Overall, survivors are a bit more expressive now, and it adds a little bit of immersion to the match and your character specifically, so that you know that they are actually feeling stuff. There is a setting in the game for if you do not like these facial animations. If you open up your settings in the top left corner and head over to graphics, I believe at the bottom there should be a setting to turn off facial animations. You can just tick off that box and survivors should now have the usual static faces again that you are used to. Otherwise, just leave it on and have some fun with, you know, your survivor character reacting to nearly dying. Matchmaking has also officially made its way into Trepidation. What this means is that if you go to your settings again and head over to the social tab, you can see the server list right at the top. Open that menu up and this should now show you the improved server list. It updates a little bit more frequently now, but most importantly, it now has an auto join button that allows you to join a server with an ongoing game or a game that is about to start. It depends on how that game's going. Additionally, if you enter a server where a game is already over halfway through, you can click on this little GUI at the top here to find a game. And this menu right here on the screen will take you either to the server list, or it lets you find a game automatically by clicking this button. Now, I am in a private server, so I'm guessing this is not going to work. Oh, it is. Well, there you go. We are now in the server. That's how that works. And you can briefly see there that this match is about to start. This server is in the intermission, like so. There we go. But this feature essentially allows you to get into a match quickly. Let's go back into my VIP server though, for this video's sake. Speaking of private servers, if I go on ahead and pull up the website right now, you may have noticed that VIP servers are now free. It is free real estate, folks. There we go. Subscription price is now set to free. You can now create yourselves your free VIP server and allow your friends to join in and just play with friends. And last but not least, I think this one is a bit obvious, but a lot of survivor, flashing and balancing changes along with additional bug fixes were made in all these patches that include all the features that I just talked about. I will probably show all of the patches sketches off one by one, so feel free to pause at any time to have a read and see what exactly changed about survivors, slashers, or just balancing in general. But yeah, have a look at them if you are really that interested. Moving on to the next part of the video, which is going to be all about the map reworks. Over the past few weeks, a total of 6 maps have been either revised or revamped so far. Those maps are currently Skeld, Arctic, Pool Rooms, School, Hospital, and Shrine. Now, Pool Rooms right here has a completely different layout than it used to be. My goodness me. It is still the theme that you know and love with the water and all the tiled walls, but there's just so much more random tiles. The pumps are way more spread out than they were before. This map has definitely joined back rooms in the most random map generation. You've got this beautiful open room. You could even go up some stairs, I think it was. Yeah, you've got like some quote-unquote second floor to some of these rooms here. Some more elevated areas, I guess you could say. This map definitely became a lot more like enclosed with the amount of randomized tiles that are now in pool rooms. The iconic staircases here. Lovely. I think it's a lot brighter in my opinion as well. I am pretty okay with this map rework so far from what I've played on Pool Rooms at least. Next up, everybody, we have the Skeld map, and I would argue that revisions is a better word to use for this map in particular. Nothing exciting has really changed to Skeld except for that the palettes have gotten a slight redesign, as you can see right there. All the what used to be really wide and open hallways now have some kind of like tile going for themselves. So if you just go on ahead and say walk up further ahead, we've got this tile in this hallway right here. We've got this tile. We've got another tile in this hallway. You get the gist, right? Other than that though, there have only really been small changes to the layout of Skeld, I'd say. For example, there are a few more vents that you can walk through, if I can find one for you folks. Yeah, so if you go ahead and go into security, this vent has been revamped to go left, and it now takes you out to this hallway, which is pretty nice. There is an additional vent, I think. There we go, this room. It now has a vent in this corner next to the keypad that takes you to this hallway. I think that's about it for this map though. So again, nothing too crazy, but I'm not gonna lie, I still don't like this map. But that doesn't mean that the changes made, the small revisions, aren't bad. I do think that I like them. Moving on to Shrine, everybody. Is it obvious that I really like this map now? Is it really obvious? I think Shrine by far has had the best map rework so far. The looks of this map specifically have improved a ton, but Shrine itself is really cool to play in now. Shrine has definitely become more of an indoor map than it is an outside part, where you have just a few tab bits of the outside, like right here, this little pond area with bridges that you can cross to get up this like outer house up here. You've also got this like balcony area, I guess, if you want to call it that, around the shrine here that you can be at. The exit is now outside in this balcony area, in this same area. Let me pull up a gameplay clip for this next one, because what this shrine map now has, if you try to get to the exit too early, a mysterious magical purple barrier will push you back into the map, which is a nice little detail. It's a bit of a unique mechanic this map has. Going back inside though, the two gongs are just like across from each other now. There's plenty of unique rooms to discover, like this library of some kind. I'm not sure what this is meant to be. The middle area also is a beautiful area. Shrine has definitely gotten a deserved glow up, and I'm really happy to see how Shrine turned out in this rework. School has gotten quite the glow glow up to say the least. First things first, the hallways in general in this ground floor are so much more spacious now, which is very much appreciated. We have a new staircase that leads to the upstairs of the building. But the first big change you may notice is that we no longer have a staircase going down into the basement. The basement is gone. If we take ourselves up to the second floor here, we have some science rooms to our right here. We can even drop down from the second floor into the outside bit of the school right there. Here is the new and improved garden of the school, by the way. But I believe that on the second floor of the school building, we should now have a ginormous tile. Here's another staircase that takes you up to this floor and back down. We still have the classroom with the seats. Well, they used to be on the roof. They're now down here, of course, but you get the gist. Here we are in the improved garden where you can look over the hedges. Very cool to mess around with, both as a survivor and the slasher. The cafeteria, if you hadn't caught that yet, is a proper cafeteria now. And other than that, I think the school has just been like increased in size, where the rooms, the classrooms are way bigger than they were before, like right here, for example. I think school has seen a huge improvement overall. Now, Arctic, on the other hand, has what I would argue received revisions as well. Starting off with the fact that this exit switch is now in this middle room rather than downstairs. Excuse me, I think I need to turn down the graphics a bit. The outside has a very clear border now. The outside also has gotten a lot of these like cover-ups, I guess I'll call them. You will see them being used frequently in these tiles like so, along with the usual tiles that you know and recognize from the map. Another thing about the outside is that there is a proper entrance to the cave now, rather than having to climb up a small rope. Thank you for that. Going into this room here though, this is still the same, but this room right here has changed. If you go up here though, the stairs have also changed, and going all the way up will now show you a new balcony area connected to this room that you can be on. This balcony has a new vault and a new drop down right there. Heading over to the core room itself, you will see that it has changed quite a bit too. A notable change is that this whole area has been officially blocked off. These staircases, on the other hand, are really annoying to navigate. I think it's more so with the fact that these two are so close together, where it can be a bit difficult to get up here. Also, this as well, like, why is the flooring so close to the staircase here? It's especially annoying as the slasher. Going outside though, well, outside the top floor, it is now open. The roof here is open, and this upstairs area with the helicopter as the exit, it now has that way to come from the core room still, but you can now also enter the area via this staircase outside. That's about it for Arctic though. I think Arctic is still a decent map to play on. I will say though that I do experience a little bit of lag here, more lag than usual. Yeah, see how many frames I'm losing in this area. Alright, enough about lag though. Let's move on to the next map on our list. Actually, it's the last rework map as of currently. Hospital looks so much better now. It has an incredible glow up. This is the main area, as you may recognize still, the reception area. It is so much bigger. Prepare yourself for probably the biggest fucking maze in this game, okay? If hospital wasn't already a pain in the ass, it definitely is now, with the amount of big ass rooms and tiles it has now. It is definitely a lot more spacious though, which I will take as a positive here. Here's the hallway from the thumbnail render that you see in the map voting screen. This middle room right here is now like a proper huge room. I don't know what this is meant to be, but it does have an upstairs now with a few pallet tiles. Here we've got this room, this familiar room with another desk. Now, fun fact about this room, and I really want to tell you this because I've seen many people not realize that it's here. This is a vault. Okay, we've got a pallet next to you right there. This bit is a vault. Please keep that in mind. The lever is in this room now, which is pretty interesting. This is still relatively the same. This is the good old room that takes you back to this middle hallway. And this middle hallway takes you back to the reception area. What used to be just patient rooms now takes you to this room with the mannequins and TVs. Yeah, here is this room where the lever used to be right here. I don't know. I really like how the hospital turned out, but it is such a bigger maze than it was ever before, at least in my opinion. Here's this room again. I think a nice suggestion for better navigation in this map is, you know how the hospital has like signs hanging up or next to doors everywhere, like so? I kind of wish they had actual text to kind of like indicate in what part of the hospital you are. I think that will make a huge difference without necessarily changing anything else about the map. That does it though for all the reworks that we currently have. Let me know what you think though in the comments down below. What you think of the reworks. Alright, we have officially made it to the upcoming content portion of this update video. And we have quite a lot to unpack, folks. And it is very exciting what we're gonna talk about here. The first one is quite possibly the biggest update I have seen for Trepidation yet, okay? Because the game will be getting their first thematic community-created event. Say hello, everybody, to the teaser for the first witch. So as far as we know, for this event, we are getting the following content. The new slasher, Hexweaver, as you can see in the middle. 2 new survivors, Morgan to the left and a dead to the right. There's also a new map on the way for this event, alongside revamps and revisions to Dryad, who you can see at the bottom of this screenshot. There is also a mention of more new content, but currently we have no idea what this means. It is still a secret. But just have a look at this teaser, folks. Isn't this exciting? We are getting so much new content soon. Either way, what I'm getting from this screenshot right here, and I've pulled it up for myself as well now, I'm really getting like magic vibes on this. The Hexweaver is really giving me like Disney vibes, Ursula, if she was a spider queen essentially, but also a bit of Alice in Wonderland, if that makes any sense. Morgan seems to be some kind of like crusader. Odette, on the other hand, seems to be some kind of sorcerer. And I'm not entirely sure what's going on in the background, but it seems like there is something lit on fire in the background. Dryad is also, as you can see, at the bottom of the teaser, and she looks cool already, okay? She seems to have a new hairstyle. She's crying in the picture as well, so I wonder if her face will get updated. And it looks like she's wearing some kind of like crown or something. You see those like shiny metallic objects sticking out of her head. I do know of a community post created by where they did suggest Hexweaver as a slasher concept. I'll actually pull it up. But from what I gathered is that they are all about speeding up. With your passive, you are able to pick up survivors and you build up stacks by doing so. And each stack grants you more movement speed. And then what I'm guessing is that the remainder of the abilities, so Glisten, Shatter, and Worldbreaker, are more kind of like area control abilities. Where with Glisten, you can lock down a part of a hallway, for example, with a spider web. With Shatter, you can get around the map. Kind of the same way Annihilator can, in a way, I suppose. And with Worldbreaker, you can trap survivors in an area. It seems to also enhance your other abilities, which looks interesting. On the other hand, we do not know anything about Morgan and Odette. We have a few bits and bobs of public story for Odette, but they don't really help in figuring out what they will be able to do as their survivor ability. Either way, I'm very very curious to see what this community event will be all about, and I have a lot of faith that Uzi and I will cook up something spectacular. And then we have a bunch of new animations also coming up as well. Uzi took a new content poll on the 17th of May in which new animations like stunts, kills, and outros won. And as of recording today, actually, we have a bunch of these new animations already with plenty more to come. For survivors, we have 3 quote-unquote new animations. 2 of them more so got improved, with 1 actually being new. The survivor run has been improved alongside the ragdoll death animation that a survivor does when they are on their last life and lose it. Survivors now also have a proper new landing animation. So whenever you drop from a great height, survivors will actually play a landing animation along with a sound effect. For slashers, on the other hand, we have a bunch more new animations. Cage run has been changed twice as of recording this at this point. First we had the sleigh run, and now we have this stomping around, which looks a little bit similar to Brute in that regard, but it's a very funny one nonetheless. I still like it. But the huge thing for slashers is that they now have a kill animation. At least Shade, Wraith, Infected, and Brute do. That is. What a kill animation means in this context here is that whenever you hit a survivor on their last life, and they're dead, right? They're dead. Slashers will now get a cool, unique cutscene where they kill the survivor in their own unique way. Alongside that, we now also have stun animations for all the slashers. Every single slasher this time around has received a new animation for when they drop to 0 health. Slashers now also have a proper reaction to hitting a landmine as well. I think the animation is the same for all the slashers, but they essentially try to block their face. And that is all I could find around the new animations so far. If I missed any, please let me know in the comments down below if I missed any animations whatsoever. But that is all I have for you today, folks. I hope with this video that I have been able to catch you up with all the updates that have been released to the game, as well as all the upcoming content that is going to be arriving to Trepidation at some point in time. If you found this video useful, make sure to let me know by hitting that like button down below and subscribe for more Trepidation videos just like this one in the future. I cover Trepidation updates for the most part and are a slasher main. So if you like slasher gameplay, this channel is the way to go. Thank you so much for watching this video, folks, and I shall see you in my next one. Take care, folks.